Okay, spending my conclusion or my thoughts or however you want to put it. That before I get started, I want to tell you this is Isaac David Bregman, the pastor of the Christian Arts Christian Fellowship Online Ministry, and I wanted to put this out here. It's come to my conclusion or however you want to put. I don't know how you say it, but anyways, come to me that there's been a lot of people talking, you know, in history, past, present, and future, about things that they don't like people doing. And what I want to get touch base is that, and I always say that a lot, touch base, but is that if you're out there and if you are actually thinking that people, if they don't do what you want them to do, then they're no good to you. That's the wrong way to act, because I've seen how y'all act at times. Y'all act like y'all think that because you buy something that makes you better than anyone else. You think if you can wear it, it makes you better than anyone else. But I'm going to tell you something, folks. We don't play that games. If you really think that that's going to make you look like you're better than anyone else, then you're sadly mistaken, and you're wrong for it. I see it like this. I'm a grown man, and I don't believe nothing I own is making me better or worse than any other person in this world. But see, you think that because you have material items that makes you more important than anyone else. So my advice is, buy what you want to buy with your money, but don't let that thing you buy be more important than loving your family and friends, because they've been out there for you from the get-go. The ones that do care about you. Now, I know you've got family out there that probably don't care about you. They care about themselves. But that family had every intentions of doing things for you, the ones that do care. Ones that don't care, I say, don't worry about it. God will deal with them in due time, and you ain't got to worry about it. But the thing is, we got to stop this fussing and stop the fighting. I've seen families get tore apart because of fussing and the fighting. And what good does it do? And if you love your family, but don't put your family at the point of making it look like that they're, like, love your family. But what I'm saying is, while loving your family, don't make them look like they're somebody that's less important to you than another family member. I've seen family members get so out of hand. They just get this thing where they believe that one family member means more than the other. And they take it to that level. And it hurts me to see how they do this stuff. They don't look at it like, well, this is what's going on and this is how we solve the problem. It's more like, here's a problem we will never solve because we don't want to solve it. When someone in your life moves, don't take that as a sign of they quit on you. Because if they quit on you, you would know it. They would let you know that. But if you don't know that for sure, ask questions. Stop trying to assume that they did. Love your family when they're good. When they're not good, still love them and expect them to do better after you prayed for them. But if not, then that's with them and God to deal with. And I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm not telling you how to be. But please, folks, if you're going to be a rotten person, attitude-wise, get yourself straight first before it's too late. Because God said love your friends and family and neighbors. He didn't say love yourself. He didn't say love someone else. He said love your family, friends, and neighbors. Which in a nutshell means don't go around acting like you don't know this dude named Bill or you don't know this dude named Larry or whatever. Say you know these people, but yet while knowing them, you ain't going to accept their attitude if they do something stupid towards you. Hold on here. Hold on. Hold on here. Something got out of hand here and started playing without my permission on TV. Anyway, I want to get back to where I was trying to touch base with y'all. I get this funny feeling that people are hating on people because of lack of information. I do believe also that there are people getting mad at people for things that they didn't do, that people say, well, why is so-and-so getting mad at so-and-so? Or they get mad at the other person for things that they think have happened that didn't happen. I'll give you an example. I know someone right now who's getting fussed at and cussed at for things they didn't do. And somehow people have got this through their head that this person has done these things. They've really truthfully done these things and they're wrong for it. My advice is, if you're going to be that way, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all because you're going to shut yourself down to the point of being this kind of person that nobody wants to deal with. And you know what? I'm not that guy. I'm not going to sit there and be the guy that's going to blame you for something if I don't have no proof. Because that's what gets the stuff started to start with. I mean, God said don't argue and fuss and quarrel with people over something you don't know nothing about. And I'll tell you, my advice is stop it now before it's too late. I've seen grown men get all hurt, butt hurt, as they say. I wouldn't say that. I mean, come on, let's scratch all that. But let's get to serious. People getting hurt. And they know they're getting hurt over some stupid stuff. Meaning stuff they never asked questions about in the first place. They never said, look, what is really going on here? What is really happening? Did you really do these things? First of all, they already know if that person did something or not. And if they did, accuse them of what they done, not what they didn't do. Accuse them of things they did. Because it's getting to the point now where we can't even determine who's right and who's wrong. I've seen guys get in trouble with other guys over some stupid stuff. I mean, truly, purely stupid stuff. Stuff that you can't even, you wouldn't have had to make up to even get it right or wrong. And I'm saying, if you got to make up something in order to blame someone for something, you got some issues and you got to stop that mess. I know you don't like people. See, I know people right now saying you can't do this to me and you can't do that to me because of what you did with your life. So in other words, you cut people out of stuff in your life that they can't do with you because of the fact that you're mad at what they did supposedly to you. So if they live their life to the fullest, to the way God told them to, does that make them wrong? No, it don't. But you say it does because you want that person to be known as someone that is wrong. You want them to be known as someone that's not right. I say, squash it. No, literally, just squash it. Stop the fussing. Stop the fighting. Stop the arguing. Learn. I told you already. I didn't do this stuff to you. And they didn't do this stuff to you. Nobody did anything to you. You did. If anybody did anything to anyone, you did it to yourself. You made yourself believe that the person you supposedly care about has cut themselves out of your life or out of your kids' lives or out of your mama's lives or anybody's lives when they didn't. All they did was live their life. They lived it to the fullest. And the fullest meaning to the extent that God said to. And then you're going to condemn them because they turn around. Okay, give an example. Say you're a woman or a man and you have some family that cut you out. But while they cut you out, they're saying that you cut them out or you cut their kids out of your life or something. So then while doing that, they go through all this mess. Then when you look at the truth about what's going on, you find out, no, you cut yourself out of that person's life and blamed it on them and said that they cut themselves out of your life. So then that means they can't deal with you no more. Grown babies, stop fussing and fighting and get this mess straight. That'd be like, what if I had a sister? And what if my sister had kids? And what if I did something that God told me to do and my sister says, oh, look, you've cut me out of your life and you've cut your nieces and nephews out of your life or your nephews out of your life. So that means you can't deal with me no more and you can't deal with them no more. You know what? If it was up to me personally, I'd have said, shut up and listen. I only want you to know one thing. I didn't cut you out of no one's life. I didn't do nothing stupid like that. What I did was said, look, you've got to live your life. You've got to understand that while living your life, you can't. It's like saying Johnny over there lives his life and makes a mockery of his life. But then he's got a brother who wants to live his life. And it's like, oh, no, you can't do it. Oh, you can go live your life, but your brother can't. Your brother's just trying to do the same thing you did. Live his life. But maybe your brother wants to do it according to God's plan. But you didn't want to do it according to God's plan when you did it. So your best thing is, shut up. Let this young man find his way with God. Just because you didn't find your way with God, and just because when you went out on your own, you got married, your marriage didn't work out because maybe you cheated on your wife or you cheated on whoever you're with someone else, and all this stuff goes on. But yet you want to sit there and say your life went to mess, but yet you think that your brother or your sister who wants to go live their life and find somebody and get a good thing going, you think they're wrong for it because it didn't work out for you, so it shouldn't have to work out for them. I said, no, I don't agree with that. My story says that when you have somebody in your life you really care about, family members and friends, treat them with respect. Say you hope better for them than what happened to you. I didn't have a good situation, you say. So I hope that my siblings and my friends and my family members, when they do their story, that theirs is better than mine. I mean, wish them good luck. Hopefully, say, wish them a life full of miracles. You don't have to sit there and say, well, I got married like a woman. I know a woman, and I'm doing like Dragnet. We are naming no names to spare the innocent. So if I tell you any true stories, just know that when I tell you true stories, I cut names out. So in this true story, the names are cut out to spare the innocent. And that's my motto. When I tell true stories, names are cut out to spare the innocent. So when I say that, you know a true story is coming from me. I knew a woman who who was living with her family, her mom, her dad, and her siblings. Okay, she got to a certain age. She went out and married a man, and they lived in a county not too far from me. And so what happened was she ended up, her marriage didn't work out. She cheated on her husband with a guy she knew in her past from when she was in school. So she does this, and she gets with the guy. So then her sister, well, not the only sister she had, but one of her sisters decides to, hey, I found this great guy. I want to marry the guy. I want to have a life with him. So that same woman that I told you who cheated on her husband saw her sister, which is one of her sisters, having the chance to have a better story than she did. She gets an attitude and acts like, if you do this, you cut yourself out of my life and my kid's life, which is your nephew's. So in other words, it's two women. One woman I knew of got married, cheated on her husband with someone she knew from her high school days. Then she had one of her sisters who also met a guy and wanted to marry him and ended up knowing she was going to be happy with this guy and everything. So then when the woman I was talking about that did the cheating, when she found out that sister of hers was going to have it good, she was like, well, if you do this and you move wherever that guy lives and you be with him, that means you won't have access to your nephews. You won't be able to talk to us. Just basically kicked her out of their life, but says she did it. So how would you like it if you're a woman and you have a sister and your sister has gotten married, cheated on her husband, and then married the guy she did the cheating with? They have kids together, which gives you some nephews. So say your sister sees that you got a good man now and you want to marry him and you want to move where he lives. So then next thing you know, that sister says, well, if you marry that guy and if you go move down that way, then you can't see your nephews and you can't talk to us. Which basically means I cut you out of my life, but I'm going to say you cut yourself out of our life. Which is stupid. And then, if all things, the two sisters had a mother who actually did the same thing. It said that if you go and leave us alone, then you're not a part of the family no more, which basically means you cut yourself out of our life. But that's not really what you did. We said you did it. you didn't really do it. We cut you out of our life, but we say you cut yourself out of our life. Come on. If the person never said that they're out of your life, then why are you pretending that they said something? Why are you lying and saying they said something? It'd be like saying, okay, you cut yourself out of our life, but in all honesty, you didn't really do it. We said you did. That's stupid. People, don't. I'd be like saying, what if I had a brother and say my brother said, we're tight, we're close and everything, we're like friends and family and we're brothers. So say that my brother got married and he cheated on his wife and then divorced his wife and then married the woman he was cheating with and they had 2 kids. Say that later on I find a woman who's good to me and I know I'm going to find happiness and I want to marry her. Say that my brother comes up and says, well, if you marry this woman and you leave and live wherever they live, then you cut yourself out of my life and your nephew's lives. No, they didn't. Because if they didn't officially say anything, then you cut yourself out of their life. You cut the boys out of that person's life. That's not right. God says, let people be happy in God's name. Don't let people be happy in God's name and have to feel bad about it because you say that if they find all this happiness, then they've lost contact with you because you cut the contact. You cut the contact with you. You cut the contact with your kids and all this. I say no. I say family is family. If a family member cuts themselves out of your life, let them officially say it. Don't say they did it. You know, my dad, when he was alive, my real dad, he was like that. He saw that I had a stepdad one time, and he was jealous. But so he basically didn't want to hear nothing about him too much. When I tried to explain to him that I loved them both. But you know what? A lot of people don't want to hear it. They want to be the only man in the story. Yeah, but the thing is, if you want it that way, you may not get that, but at least act like it. I mean, why be a jerk and say you don't want to hear or you don't like hearing about certain things about the other person when knowing good and well, if you want, you're sitting there saying, I'm a jerk. I want to be the only man in your life. And don't be telling me stuff about your stepdad. That may not exactly be the words that he said, but the things he said and done made that point clear that he didn't want to hear about it. He didn't want to be nice to me, but he wanted to be the only man in my life. So you want to be the only man in my life, number one. And number two, you don't want to hear much about the stepdad I had. And number three, you're a jerk. How can all this add up? You need to learn that you have to share people's love, number one. And number two, don't get mad if they're trying to tell you that they love both you and the step relative. As if you listen closely, you'll hear the fact that they said they love you both. I mean, what's up with that? And then, just let it be. Be happy that they love you and the other person. Because they did have love for both of y'all, So don't be upset about it. So I guess the moral of that story is, when someone is telling you something, listen closely to find out what they said. I said I loved both my dad and my stepdad. But that's not what my dad was hearing. My dad was hearing when he was alive that I loved my stepdad more. And also, he heard himself say that he wanted to be the only man in my life. Now, he didn't officially say it, but in a roundabout way, he did say it with his actions and what he has said. But you can't be that way because you got to learn to love people. Share love and give love. Be kind to people and don't get upset when they got something good to tell you. because if you read between the lines, you get the message of what they're saying. Honestly, people just don't pay no attention no more. They just throw out, well, whatever they want to hear or see or say. And I do love y'all people, but I don't want y'all getting all hurt because people say something about someone else. Learn. Maybe they're saying that thing about that someone else because they want you to know that they love that person, plus they love you too, and they love you too, or they also love you too. And if that's so, then be that way with them. And if you have a relative that's found happiness with another person, don't be mad about it. Because if they love you still, they have not cut themselves out of your life. And if you say they have, better look at your own self and see if you're throwing out stuff that ain't even there. And people, quit accusing folks of doing things before you look into it. Because you'll tell them they done anything and everything and won't even bother to look and see if that was honestly right. So before you do that, stop and think, did they really do it? So I love y'all. And I want y'all to be happy, safe, and sound. And I want y'all to stop the fussing, the fighting, and the arguing. I'd rather see people try to get along when it comes to families. But see, nobody cares about that no more. They care about greediness. They care about, there are some women out there that have 3 or 4 children and will pick and choose which children they want to deal with, no matter how old that child is that they picked, or ever how many they picked. And it hurts when the other children they had get kicked to the curb because they're like, oh, so my brother is more important to our mom than I am, or my 2 siblings are more important to mom than I am. It goes on and on. In other words, what I'm saying is some women don't want to share their love with all the kids they have. Some women just want to say, I have 4 kids and only love 1 the most. Or I have 4 kids and love 2 the most, or 3 the most. Someone's getting cut out somehow in that love story. And that just don't make no sense. If you ask me, it's a bunch of mess and you need to quit it before it's too late. Because when you die, God's going to look at you like, why didn't you listen to what was said and done? What was said and done is these kids loved you, and you only wanted to love those children the most that you picked. And what you picked was not all your kids, just some of them. And another thing, why pick the one child that don't love you to start with? Oh, Joe Blow is the child of yours that you picked. You had 4 children or more, and you only picked 1, which was that Joe Blow. And that Joe Blow was the one child of yours that was getting in so much trouble and always making promises to you they can't keep, but yet you won't admit to it. Joe Blow was your bad child, your bad seed that just decided life was better doing wrong. They go in and out of jail, in and out of prisons. They do all kinds of stupid manner of things, hang out with the wrong people, and you still loving on Joe Blow like they're perfect. Don't love on Joe Blow like they're perfect. Love on Joe Blow like that's your child. You love your child, but you ain't going to tolerate the mess they do, and you're not going to put up with the lying and the cheating that they do. Telling you, I'm going to do this, telling you, I'm going to do that, and they don't even do it. They never kept a promise they gave you. They kept doing wrong, and you still treat them like they could do no wrong. What's up with that? Wise up, folks. Smart up. Get your mind on God. Get your mind on the reality that God shows you. God's been showing you reality from the get-go, and you wouldn't even look at it. You're just too busy saying, oh, by the way, guess what happened? I have a bad seed that came from me, and yet I'm going to treat that bad seed as if they can do no wrong. Excuse me. Your token child, when I say token in the sense of the special child, that one child that you picked over all the other children you had to be that one child who's supposed to be the golden child in your life, turns out to be the bad one. I've known women to have 4 kids and was loving only one more than anything in the world, as though they were the golden child, and that one child happened to be bad. Can't you see that your so-called perfect child that you love over all your other children is not so perfect. No, you got to believe that everything is roses and rainbows and everything. And you know what else I got to tell y'all folks? If you're deadbeat dads, you need to stop trying to act like that a deadbeat dad has every right to go leave or divorce a woman that gave that deadbeat dad some children and then decide years later, oh, I think I'm going to try again with that woman. If it didn't work the first time, what makes you think it's going to work the second time with you and that woman? So you're trying to tell me, son, you're a grown man and you act like a grown kid because you're sitting there marrying a woman, having kids with her, then being a deadbeat dad, then go move on after a divorce from that woman and get with another woman and maybe have more kids. And every child you ever had, you end up being a deadbeat dad to every child you ever had from every woman you ever dated, married, or whatever. Hey, look, man, if you can't be a good father the first time you ever had kids, then don't be making no more kids to be a deadbeat dad too. You don't. It's bad when people have to be forced by child support recovery to pay something. Hey, how does child support recovery force you to pay something on your children? By taking out money out of your paycheck or your disability check and giving that amount they took out of it to that child. That is considered, in my book, forceful payment. They forced you to pay child support through the act of them taking money out of your either paycheck or either disability check. When they have to take the money out like that and save it up and then give it to the child that you have, child or children, that to me is considered them having to force you to pay that money. And you deserve it. You deserve all you get. If all you're going to do is run around having children and never taking care of any of them, you're a grown man, number one. Number two, if you're going to be a grown man and you're going to end up getting any woman you marry pregnant, no matter if you stay with them or not after that, then you need to own up and say, okay, if I'm still married to the woman I got pregnant, then I need to be a married father and take care of my family. If you married a woman and had kids with her and then later on y'all divorced, then say, I need to be the father who got married to a woman, had kids with her, then we had to get a divorce. Be the father that I need to be in a story like that. Not be the jerk of a dad in a story like that. Separated families don't need to be nightmarish stories. Separated families need to be stories of two families who were connected at one time by a marriage and they just didn't work out and they had to go their separate ways. Mama and daddy didn't work out, so mama and daddy had to get a divorce and then live separate lives. You got your mom living on one side of the world, you got your dad living on the other side of the world, and you go back and forth between the two. Okay, when you go see dad, you need to say, Dad, how you doing today, Dad? I hadn't seen you since so-and-so time. And you have a relationship with your dad. You go to talk to your mom when you go stay with her. Have a relationship with your mom. Don't be like one is jealous of the other one's lifestyle. Oh, what's your freaking mama doing today? Where is she up to? Man, quit talking trash about your ex-wife. Your ex-wife gave you children while you was married to her. That don't mean that all that is an excuse for you to blah, blah, blah to your kids about how bad their mom is. Same for you, mom. There ain't no need for you to tell all kind of trash to your kids about their dad. They're going to find out some things about their dad on their own. You don't have to be the one to push it on them. So I say, look, stop it. And all you people that believe that if a man is of God, that he is bad. Oh, I've had people tell me I was bad because I was a man of God. Oh, well, that's just great. If you want to believe that God is no good, God is evil, you want to believe that gospel music is evil, you want to believe that the holy gospel in the Bible, the word in the Bible is evil, plus the Bible is evil, plus hell is better than anything else, plus heaven is bad, plus God is bad, plus Jesus is bad, all that stuff, and I'm bad for believing in good things in life and all that. If that's all you want to say about everything, you got issues and you need to stop it. It don't mean that because I love God, I love Jesus, I love heaven, I love church, because I love things that I deal with does not, if I deal with things of God, it does not make me bad. And you know what? If you deal with things of hell, that's on you. That's you to deal with. And you got to face the fact that God's going to look at you one day and say, son, I told you to stop this mess. But all you wanted to do was say, well, God, you don't know nothing. God knows more than you realize. God has told you more than you realize. So you wake up, you wise up, you smart up and say, God, I'm sorry. I should have listened to you a long time ago. You were better than anything else I've ever dealt with. You are a man of God, and you should be a man of God. That don't mean you got to go out there and preach it unless God told you to. You preach it if God tells you to. If God doesn't tell you to preach it, you talk it or do it the way God said. I got to let y'all go. But before we go, I want you to, number one, be a good father be a good dad to your kids. Because God's the father. So you can't be a father. You can be a dad. But be the best dad or daddy that God allows you to be. Same with the moms. Be the best mom or mother that you can be. And stop saying, I'm a guy and I have kids and that's it. So what? Are you the sperm donor now? You wasn't the dad? Oh, really? That's a sick thing to do. God ain't going to be happy with you. Oh, now the next thing you're going to say is, so what? What if God ain't happy with me? Oh, okay, get ready to live in forever torment because you're going to hell for your ways. Oh, I love going to hell? Oh, really? Do you love going to hell? Well, go ahead, enjoy your stay in hell. When the devil is trying to get you for everything you got to give him when you're dead, there are things that the devil says. When you're dead, you have things of dead that belong to him if you're evil. Well, then guess what? All your possessions that are allowed for a dead person to have when they die is all going to belong to the devil. Your soul is one thing, and your peace is one thing. You gave the devil your peace. You gave the devil your soul and your whole being. So that means that since the devil's got these things, when you die, then that is his permission to torment you 24/7 in hell. But you could have avoided all that if you'd have just been not a deadbeat dad, not a deadbeat mom, not a deadbeat sister. Now, what you say, what's a deadbeat sister? A poor excuse for a sister. A sister that will turn you away not only from her, but from her kids, which is your nieces or nephews or whatever they are, who will turn them away from you and herself. If I had a deadbeat sister, it would be like saying, I'm not your sister no more, Isaac. I'm not nothing to you no more, Isaac. And number two, you don't have no nieces and nephews no more because I can't let you deal with them no more. That makes them a deadbeat sibling. If my brother done the same thing, he'd be a deadbeat sibling. Deadbeat siblings are brothers and sisters who disown other brothers and sisters and cut their children out of that disowned relative's life. And that's stupid. Don't do that. That's wrong. So from now on, be better brothers and sisters to each other. Better fathers and mothers. Well, I mean dads and mothers, because like I say, God's the father. So be better dads and mothers. If you have to pay child support, then talk to God. Be a man. Talk to God. Real men love God. Real women love God. Real men who are young, like little men and little girls and little women, the real men and the real little men love God. The real women and the real little women love God too. So all you boys, if you think you're a real man, then you better be loving God. If you can't stand up and say, I'm a real man at 13 and love God also, then you got a problem, because to be a real man, you got to stand up to God and say, I love you, God. and learn when God breaks you down, you get on your knees and cry. And you tell Jesus that you're sorry for what the world did to Jesus, and you're also sorry for what you did to Jesus. Like, Jesus, I'm sorry for what I did to you, and I'm also sorry for what the world has done to you. How dare the world do that to you? Because they're hurting your feelings every day. I mean, they're doing stupid stuff every day to you. Now, see, that's the thing that people need to wake up about. Stop all this mess that don't make no sense. I love y'all, and I got to let y'all go right now. But when we talk again, we're going to be talking about the good things in life, like what God's about, what Jesus is about. We're going to talk about things of God. We're not going to talk about things of the devil. So let's pray. Dear Lord God and Jesus, I pray to you that you bless this world with the ability to wake up, wise up, and smart up, with a chance to say, God is good, God is great, and Jesus is good, and Jesus is great, and things of the God and Jesus is what is great too, not things of the devil. And please be good brothers, be good sisters, be good moms, be good dads, be good aunts, uncles, be good grandmas, grandpas, be good family members to each other. Love each other and stop fussing and fighting. And I pray that you'll do this. I pray that peace will come to all broken families. I pray that peace will come to where everybody can say, look, I'm sorry for our attitudes, and we need to get things straight before it goes too far. And I just pray that we get this stuff straight before it's too late. In the precious name of God and Jesus, we pray. Amen, 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 amen.